Absolutely phenomenal morning, guys. This is your Breakfast with the Brand. I am your host, Shaan as always, flanked by the phenomenal Bobby Jackson. Guys, listen, it is Wednesday. I want to talk to you about your wins this morning. We want to talk about your wins because a lot of people call this hump day. I remember when I really got into the personal and professional development industry, I used to call it pump day. I said it's not hump day for me, it's pump day for me. And we're gonna get pumped on this Wednesday. We're gonna get juiced in this middle of the week, guys, and we're gonna light you up and electrify you for the rest of the week. Bobby Jackson, how you feeling, brother?
Feeling amazing. I love that pump day. Back when you were getting into this for the first time and like crushing it. That's really nice because it makes me think about what I've been really wrestling with this morning was in order to get what I've never had, I've got to be somebody I've never been. And I was just meditating on that this morning. I'm like, I've done a lot, done some interesting things. How much further can I go? And that's what I'm interested to see how this conversation goes, because I might just stumble upon my next challenge this morning.
Let's go. You might just stumble upon your next challenge. Talking about challenges, guys. Talking about challenges, the ultimate brand challenge will be that one event. If there was ever one event that could absolutely transform your understanding of business and your results in your life and in your business, the ultimate brand challenge is it. That link down below, that link right there down below will change everything for you. It has done it before for countless individuals. Bobby's one of them. I'm one of them. I get the transformation, guys. I promise you, I look at myself, I look at what I've done last year, and I learn something every single time. So every single time I do anything at all, it gets better and better and better. So if there was ever one thing that I said to do that you said, okay, I'm going to trust this and I'm going to do this, that brand challenge is that one thing. We're going to spend 5 days together from the 18th to the 22nd. And the way you see your business, the way you see your teams, the way you see your potential, the way you see your opportunities will never be the same. Let's grow. We'll be right back. It's the Breakfast with the Brand. There's slow growth and then there's scale. There's incremental growth and then there's exponential growth. What I want to talk to you about is adding a zero to you and experiencing exponential scale. Incremental growth says 1 + 1 is 2. Exponential growth says 1 + 0 is 10. Incremental growth says 2 + 2 is 4. Exponential growth says 5 + 0 is 50. Guys, listen, when you add a zero to you, you can add a zero to the marketplace. You can add a zero to the value that you bring. So you can add a zero to your family, add a zero to your legacy. This is what we're talking about. We're not talking about incremental, we're talking about exponential. I always say that business is a spiritual game. Just imagine when you combine your skills, your values, your abilities, your talents to something greater than you, something greater than you, something like the power of exponential. That is adding a zero. Add a zero to your competence, add a zero to your confidence. This is about adding a zero in your life, your value, your industry, and your mission. Let's grow. The reason why I did this and what I do is help leaders to become brands and brand themselves. You train people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. I teach authenticity marketing. If people can take advantage of you, they will in your personal or professional existence.
My biggest takeaway just from day one is you are the brand. I would recommend it to anybody that's really looking to build a personal brand.
Just the brand in general has changed my life. I've grown so much since I've been a part of this.
I see myself in what he does, and I believe in it just as much as I believe in myself.
All right, let's get to it. Let's get through it. Bobby, what are some wins that you've experienced for the last couple of days? As we get to this, like on this Wednesday, I always want to recalibrate and help people calculate their wins, like what they've done that has been absolutely phenomenal. So what are some for you? As a matter of fact, how did that thing go for you yesterday with the whole military the base? Like tell us about that. Give us a snap, give us an insight into what's going on in the world of Bobby Jackson and that phenomenal goal that you have.
It's so funny because there are certain things you don't find out until you're going through the process. So I went there and I started talking to the people. I went to where I thought I was supposed to be. And I went into one office on the first floor. They said, oh, no, you're not in the right place. You need to be on the top floor, second floor. So I get some direction to the top floor. Then I talked to another guy. They're like, oh, you look familiar. Hey, let me go get this person in the back for you. And then they go in the back and they get this individual. And then they bring me to the back and they're like, yeah, we got this, we got that. So mind you guys, sometimes when you're going through your process, you're not going to know if you're starting at the right place. You're going to have to get to the right place. You're going to be dropped in the LZ and have to figure it out. So I've been dropped in the LZ. I'm figuring it out. I get to this young.
Hold on, Bobby. Hold on. Everybody here is not from the military, so please explain what an LZ is. Please explain what an LZ is for the people that don't know what you're talking about.
Yes. Landing zone, guys. So 12 years military experience here. So LZ just means you got dropped in. And sometimes that's how it feels in your business. You got this education, this experience, these expertise, and then you jumped out of the plane and boom, you hit the LZ. But you might not be exactly where you need to be. You got to work that thing out. Right. So I'm on the second floor now and I'm talking to the lady and she's like, oh, yeah, we've got a marketing department. I said, what? I know that word. You got a marketing department. And they were like, yeah, see, what we do here is boost the business. And you got to go through the headquarters Marine Corps and all this stuff, get it certified. But if you want to get in front of the Marines and you want to talk to different people, we have a marketing department. I said, show me the way. She takes me to the marketing department, gives me some instructions. I get to the marketing department. You have to get buzzed in, everything, a little high speed here. And I'm like, okay, let's do this. I get there and the person I needed to see wasn't there, but I got her card. The other person, her assistant, was there, got her card too. And she said, oh, by the way, we market for free for you. We do the flyers. We do this. We do that. We put it all together. I said, but oh man, it looks like I'm frozen.
Yeah, it looks like you're frozen to me too. Okay, I just wanted to make sure because sometimes it might look like that on my end, but It's okay. Go ahead. I can hear you. So hopefully everybody else can. Guys, if you can hear Bobby, put it in the chat. Go ahead. Tell us, did you just say marketing for free? Did you just say materials for free?
I did, guys. I did. And what I want you to know is like sometimes you might have an expense in your mind that's not real because opportunity creates some interesting things. Opportunity creates value. And sometimes value, actually more times than not, value creates revenue. In the world. So with that being said, that was my experience, guys. So everything went good. I ended up getting the business cards from both of those individuals. I've got the appointment set up. She should be in her office today. And as things continue to work themselves out, I foresee myself marketing to the base. So I'm winning, guys. I'm winning.
Winning all day. Winning Wednesday, guys. Then for me, let me tell you guys something. I was going to show up on this call without a tie on. And I know it's not no tie Thursdays, but I was going to show up on this call with no tie because I'm taking a flight out of here like in maybe 1 or 2 hours after we get off the call, right? Speaking events come at the last moment for speakers. So you always have to have your bags packed and be ready. I just want you to understand, like you always got to be ready. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. It would be shambles. I would not be able to be on this call if I did not stay ready. So stay ready. And then much of what like Bobby said, that I say money follows movement. Money follows movement. So because Bobby made some moves, people are giving money. People have money now. People are like, oh, well, marketing is free here. We'll do all the materials for you. They wouldn't have any materials for Bobby if Bobby wasn't present. Bobby wouldn't even know about it. Money follows movement. So because I'm speaking, because I'm constantly in the world's face, the world has opportunities for the go-getter, the wide-awake individual who is a businessman and about their business. There's a lot of people who claim business but don't do business. When you do businesses, businesses will want to do business with you. You probably want to write that down. When you do business, businesses will want to do business with you. All of the promotions, all of the raises that I got in organizational, I didn't get them because I applied for them, so to say. The reason why I got promotions and I got raises is because I applied myself. And then whoever was in charge of the promotions, the raises, the accolades, they recognized my movement and applied money to me. Please understand, I never put an application for any kind of raise or promotion, but I got countless of them because I applied myself. And because I applied myself, money applied itself to my movement. Most people say, I'll start moving when? I'll start doing this when? I'll start going live when? I need this to do this. No, you need to do this to get this. Many people are putting the results before the work. I just told my team, I said the only place that success comes before work is in the dictionary. Everywhere else in real life, work comes before success. So when you see Shaan Rais, with a different background in a different place from stage, doing different things with different people in different places, please understand that decades of work preceded that.
That's interesting because I see myself leveraging more and more things that I learned in Branding Like a Leader, things that I learned in Closing Like a Leader and Speaking Like a Leader. And it's like, I don't even think about it anymore. It's somewhat instinctual. So as we're winning and we're talking about wins, I think that I can attribute a lot of the wins that I've had today and these past couple of days to work that I did years ago. And as we keep on going deep into the work and we keep on, pressing out, one of the things that I was thinking about this morning was how much more could I do today consistently? And where would that put me in 2 to 3 to 5 years? Like that's my mindset now. As I've started thinking more about, it's not coming tomorrow. It's not coming at like the speed of yesterday, but it will come exponentially fast if you do the work. So I just want to put that out there for you guys that are watching to just take inventory of what this week looked like up until now, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. How much did you do? How much information did you leverage? How much of yourself, like your expertise, education, experience, did you draw on to position yourself to be in a phenomenal space in, say, the next year, next 2 years, next 3 years?
Bobby, that one thing that you said is so powerful because your work compounds. Your work compounds. So everybody knows about compound interest, but they probably know about it the negative way. The negative way of compound interest is you borrow $10,000, you don't pay it back within the first year when there's no APR or annual percentage rate, and then it goes up on you, so you end up paying $15,000 for 10. That's the negative form of compound interest. The positive form of compound interest is investing 10 years into your mindset, into personal and professional development, or $10,000, $100,000 into your business, and you don't see revenue. You invest $250,000 into your business, and you will not immediately see revenue. But continue to build yourself, continue to walk the walk, continue to do the work. It's just like master's degrees when rightly applied. It's like an MBA when rightly applied. Those 3 words are critical. When rightly applied. The $100,000 in your business, the $250,000 in your business that doesn't pay you today, doesn't pay you tomorrow, in 5 years will begin to pay you $50,000 a month, $60,000 a month. When you have faith and do it the right way. And this is a guarantee. I don't say this as hypothesis. I don't say this as a an opinion of mine or a hope of mine or a belief of mine. It is a fact of mine. It is one of my facts of life. And I want you to have the same fact in your life. And this is why I'm so heavy on you guys every single day, trying to get you to wake up, get you to be on time, get you to crush it, get you to invest in yourself, get you to constantly go deep into the content that we provide every single day. So you can finally say, you know what? I'm going to take a small leap of faith. I'm going to take a $5,000 leap. I'm going to take a $10,000 leap. People take $5,000 leaps. We did the Branded Like a Leader program. When we first did it, it was 5K. Young woman came in by the name of Siobhan. So Siobhan came into the Branded Like a Leader program. And in less than 2 months, she did $20,000. She took a $5,000 leap and she multiplied it by 4. She multiplied it by 4 in less than 2 months. That's a huge leap. Another phenomenal leader. At this point, the leadership leverage was 30K. She came in. She was like, I don't know how I'm going to do 30K. I said, it's easy. How do you want to do it? I said, it's easy. Don't even think about it. She said, well, I don't know how I'm going to pay for the whole thing. I said, you don't have to pay for the whole thing. Just make the first payment. 2.5 a month. Like, just make the first payment and trust and have faith and do the work and apply yourself immediately. She made the 2.5, scarily. Not knowing how to do it, not knowing what was going to come next, not knowing where the next payment was going to come from. Bobby, she did the 2.5. She came to the calls. She dived deep into Branded Like a Leader, and she saw herself differently immediately. She went through Money Mind versus Monkey Mind. And Money Mind versus Monkey Mind, for those who are unacquainted, Money Mind versus Monkey Mind is one of those first calls, like a preliminary call, literally a pre-call before the call. Before the Branded Like a Leader program, there's a course called Money Mind versus Monkey Mind, and she saw herself differently. She said, hold on, I've got 2 master's degrees. I've been in this organization for almost 20 years. Now, she was at 6 figures, but she wasn't that much past 6 figures. So like 105, maybe 110, $110,000. And been in this organization for so long, she had to go back to her bosses and say, listen, I've been here for too long to make this amount of money. I think I'm really considering leaving this organization. And she found out how much she meant to them. Guys, you don't know your value. You don't know your value because you don't know yourself. You're not acquainted with yourself like that. But she made an investment and she got another view of herself. And she said, hold on, I'm extremely valuable. I'm extremely valuable. I'm worth much more. And she went to her superiors and she told them, hey guys, listen, like, I'm about to be out of here. I'm seriously considering leaving. I don't think she put in her 2 weeks notice, but she put the world on notice. She put that circle, she put that organization on notice. And before 30 days, they had renegotiated her salary. Her salary went from like 105 to 215. Yeah, she doubled her salary, already 6 figures. She did almost 250K. For a year. And she came back to me, you know, this is before the first month, bro. This is before the second payment was ready to clear. She says, hey, Shaan, you won't believe what happened. I said, what happened? She said, I doubled my salary. I said, what do you mean? She said, I told them I was ready to leave and they renegotiated my prices and I have less people to report to. I have less people reporting to me. I have less responsibility in the organization and I make 2 times my salary plus a little bit more. And I have more time because now I get to work half the time from home. I said, so what's going on with your business? Are you ready to dig deep? She said, no, sir, I don't want to be an entrepreneur anymore. I'm going to be an entrepreneur. She said, I don't want to be an entrepreneur. I don't want to do the hard work of whatever it is that you did to create that. I'm glad that I made the initial investment and got what I needed to go from an employee that was disgruntled and unappreciated to an entrepreneur who can run their own business inside of the organization. I said, let's go. Listen, guys, there's so many different ways to work it. There's so many different ways to work it, but it immediately, it starts. The inception of it is recognizing your value, branding you, and not what you do. It's very important that you know yourself to the highest degree possible, because it's through knowing ourselves that we're able to know other people. You are the most important person in the room, and the better that you know yourself, the better that you're able to communicate to others. So you're not only playing the game knowing who you are, but you're also playing the game knowing who everyone else is, so that you're not playing blind.
He's extremely engaging with people. He has a fantastic smile, and he's just very high energy person.
This is called leadership development. So we have to be independently knowledgeable and considerate to know who we are so we can more effectively know who other people are. As the leader, it's your responsibility to allocate resources in the right places. If you don't know how to communicate effectively, you're losing the battle. I said Shaan Rais. I'm proud. Shaan Rais. Leadership is not the brand they made for us.
Listen, he brought fire, heat. He didn't hold back.
20 years down the line, what I could sell, why not serve first? Service over salary. Branding like a leader closes the gap for people who want branding. Speaking like a leader closes the gap for people who are nervous about speaking. If Steve Jobs would have speculated, we wouldn't have Apple.
He changed lives. He helped people open up their business and start their business.
We are the brand. Some people say, Shaan, should I quit my job? Mentally, yes.
As a speaker too, to be able to learn from him and watch him and you know, game respects game. And I want to have that much game someday.
The right client, pay $500,000 for what you do. You have to be bold in your beliefs.
He has been an amazing asset to this event and a pleasure to work with. Very captivating, collaborative, worked very well with the audience.
I want to help you. Put a 0 behind your number, right?
The session was great. How he is online, virtually, he is even more phenomenal in person.
Be the face of change that you want to see. Stop asking questions and start giving demands.
The entire team has just been absolutely incredible. They are a joy to work with. They go above and beyond.
Give yourself a round of applause. Yes, yes, yes. One of the comments here was from Lawana, and she talks about how that can happen when you learn the art of negotiation, right? The art of negotiation, one of the main things when it comes to the art of negotiation is knowing your value. Knowing your value. You always want to approach any kind of negotiation or any kind of conversation regarding sales as the buyer, as the person in power. So a lot of people approach like a salesman. They think they're a salesman. They're like, oh, well, I got to go sell this. I got to go close on this. I got to sell this. I got to convince the person. No, 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 no. Always be the buyer. Always be the person who you went. So when I used to go to organizations and have an interview, they thought they were having an interview with me. They thought they were there to interview me and find out my qualifications. However, I was there to find out if they were qualified for me to apply my time there. So I was always able to walk away from any situation. I'm always able to walk away from any situation whatsoever. I'm always able to walk away from any client relationship or any kind of conversation regarding revenue. I'm never attached to the sale. I'm always attached to the value. I want you guys to really understand that and get that. Like if you approach your sales as you are the buyer and the person who's there that most people are trying to convince to purchase something, if you convince yourself that they are there to actually earn their way into your program, everything will change for you.
Man, that kind of almost makes me want to change the direction of what I was going to say, but I'll say it really quickly because it was a segue. It was a story my grandmother used to tell me growing up, and it was about Abraham and Isaac. And it was from the call when we were talking about getting to the next level and just becoming that next version of you and how she went and took the value that she had to level up. So the story goes, this guy is given the one thing he always wanted, which was a son, and he had to take this son to the chopping block, so to speak. And when he gets up there and he's raising the instrument to finish things off, he finds this ram in the bush. And the moral of the story is that you've got to be willing to sacrifice the thing that you prayed for to get what you weren't wise enough to ask for. And that's kind of like the moral of the story. And I really wanted to share that because as you're going through your journey, you may have something. It could be money, it could be a title, it could be a particular relationship that you prayed for, that you hoped for. And I have learned personally that you've got to be willing to give things up. You got to sacrifice the 5 to get to the 6. You got to give up the 6 to get to the 7. And the interesting thing is that I found that my grandmother taught me was that when you give it up, you have to be mentally prepared for it to be gone forever. But it rarely ever happens that way. Like you're ready to let it go. But once you get in that position, the money starts to come in, the ram in the bush. You know, so I just wanted to share that with you guys because that's what happened with the young lady. She was like, wow, how am I going to pay for this? Like, it's a $30,000 program, $2,500, and lo and behold, ram in the bush. So, like, if you're going through your process and you're just like, you know what, I feel that same way. Like, I don't know how I'm going to make this investment. Like, I know I need to, but I'm just not sure how I'm going to do it. You know, yeah.
100%, Bobby. You know, most people come to me and they say, you know, that's a car. And I say, that's not the right car. You know, they'd be like, $30,000, that's a car. And I'd be like, that's not the right car. It could be a car. It's a starter car. You know, it's a kid's car, but it's not your car. It's not your car. Like, if you think of $30,000, $50,000 as your car, that's not the right car. It's not the right car, right? So and just like Bobby said, you got to be willing to sacrifice the small for the huge. So for me, 10 years was small. To me, 10 years was small. For some people, it's like 10 years. What do you mean 10 years? I can't do 10 years. Most people can't do 4 years. I'm talking about in college. Most people can't do it like a 4-year degree straight. They're like, no, how can I find out how to get the bachelor's in 2 years, 2.5 years? How can I get the master's degree and the bachelor's degree in one spell swoop in 4 years? And it's like, nah, like, if you want to do it right, sometimes you want to take the scenic route because there's things that you're going to learn during the process. For me, for instance, with the core competencies that I learned in industrial and organizational psychology, organizational development and change, and educational leadership, I would not give that away for anything. Anything. Every single course was critical. I've been to Purdue, guys. Like, every single course was critical. They made it hard for me. Extremely hard for me. It was even more hard for me because of where I was coming from and the things that I had to deal with personally to deal with them professionally. However, what I learned from it is incalculable. And the value that I've been able to get from it is there's no comparison. I go to currently one of the most expensive schools, and the tuition is looked at as being the huge. It's like, oh my God, why would you? I would never, and you don't have to at this point. You got so many accolades and degrees, but I want the most critical, most intensive, most impactful, most up-to-date, most relevant, most rigorous study that I could possibly find on the planet. So when I speak value and truth to a degree that most people can't fathom. That's what differentiates me in the marketplace. All of the time and the money that I've spent, all of the time and the money that I have traded, all of the money and time that I have sacrificed it or invested into myself so that I could be here before you today, free, of charge, comfortable, no anxiety, and freely giving what others charge tens of thousands of dollars for. And tell you honestly that if you spend 5 days with me, you'll get 5 figures out of the 5 days in the brand challenge. If you do the VIP and spend the 6th day, you'll get 6 figures from me because that's what we give every single time we do the brand challenge. Branded Like a Leader starts with the brand challenge. That's how it always happens. It's a segue. It's a process. It's an ascension model. You want to know how to do business, guys. Oh, yesterday, what happened? What happened around 10 o'clock? SOS. Smoke screens went up. SOS. People thought their lives was over. They were literally they were posting pictures of them laying on the stairs talking about, I thought my life was over. Wow. Because Facebook and Instagram went down for maybe an hour or two. Listen, guys, you can start your business on Facebook, but don't let your business end on Facebook. Please don't do that. Like, social media is not the only viable business model or business channel for you to communicate your value in the marketplace. It's one strategy. That's it, out of many. But if you don't know that, then everything will be social media because it works. But what happens when what works doesn't work? What happens when what works doesn't work? What are your options? Have you built a fortified base? Do you have a home base? Do you have something else online? Do you have a place where you take people? Do you have a place where you send people? Do you have the website? Do you have the phone? Do you have the CRM? Do you have the email list? Do you have these assets in your business, or do you just have a Facebook page and hope that nothing happens? If that's the case, you're in peril. You're just waiting for a strong wind, and the strong wind is inevitable. It will always come and wash away the weak, always. So take it as a sign. Take yesterday as a sign that you need to know more. You need to do more. You need to learn more. You need to be able to execute more. You need more movement in different spaces to bring about different graces.
That kind of brings me back to my original thought. Like, the version of me that I've been isn't going to be able to take me to the place that I'm trying to go. And as we think about what happened on Facebook and everything like that, it really shook me to the senses like, I got to get out there more, more. And when I got out of, I text Shaan and I was like, all right, Facebook's down. It looks like I'm out the groups and in the coop. I was on the road, out the group and in the coop, and I was riding around. And that was interesting to me because I'm also in the HPC, and me and a phenomenal team member of the HPC were having a conversation, and he was like, I always do calls in my truck. Like, I do like 80% of calls in my truck. And he was like, I do this because money is made on the road. Like, he was like, I made $1 million in this truck. I'm like, well, that's absolutely phenomenal. So as I'm starting to think, I'm starting to really just appreciate some of the things that we take for granted. That's something that I'm definitely implementing immediately, is getting in, keeping those wheels on the road more. It's a tax write-off anyway. You guys see wealth strategists, let me give you a tax bonus. You can write your mileage off and you can write off the wear and tear. So get on the road, make it happen.
Off the Zoom, in the room. I love that. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the language, HPC is high performance consulting. High performance consultants, because your intellectual property gives you the ability to be a consultant and put a zero behind your number. So if the organization pays you $60,000 a year, you can easily make $600,000 a year. Easily, just going straight to market. That's it. You don't have to be a huge influencer. You don't have to do any crazy things. All you have to do is go straight to market, straight to consumer. Instead of going, so the organization becomes a bridge between your value and the consumer. Just walk around the wall, guys. Just walk around the wall instead of trying to climb over it. Because what happens when you go through the corporation takes 90% of your revenue and takes taxes and takes all these things on top of it. And you get a small portion of the value that you actually bring to the organization. I know I kind of said that fast. You might want to hashtag replay this and watch it again. But when you take your value as a $60,000 earner direct to consumer, privatize your practice, privatize your professionalism, standardize your processes, brand you, not what you do for who, but who you are, and take it direct to the market, direct to the consumer, you can easily tack a zero on the back of it. And then you can take the profit and invest it and pay taxes with the profit that comes from your investments. And you do more and more of that and make your income passive. And as your passive income over or supersedes your aggressive or active income, what you're able to do is lessen more and more of your activity and heighten more and more of your investments. And there will become a point where you realize that your passive investments way outshadow your active activity investments. And then you can say, okay, well, I can hire someone else to be the CEO now. And I can do what I want to do and make strategic investments and make real, like, begin to look at policy. Now, we're not going to get into politics, but when I say what I mean what I say every single time. And what I say is evidence-based. You do not have to work all the time. Like, you do not have to work until your 60s. You do not have to conventionally retire. You don't have to do any of those things. And it doesn't take 10 years for you to do this either. We help people to collapse decades into days and make their yearly income monthly, their monthly income weekly, their weekly income daily. And again, all of that information and all of this education begins in that ultimate brand challenge within just a couple of weeks. I love this opportunity to spend with you for an hour a day, but when you come to the brand challenge, we'll be together for either 3 hours a day or 5 if you choose to do the VIP, which is almost like a think tank, like a compendium of competencies. And I'll show you exactly how to go from 5 figures to 6, 6 figures to 7, 7 figures to 8. I'll show you exactly how to make your yearly income monthly, your monthly income weekly, your weekly income daily. I'll show you exactly how to turn your education, experience, and expertise into impact, income, and independence. I'll show you exactly how to leverage leaders and leverage your leadership so you don't have to be there micromanaging people. There's a big gap in trust. You know, people are like, well, I can't hire people because I can't trust people. That's not the case. You trust people by trusting yourself, trusting your leadership, but you got to build your leadership for it to be ironclad and Teflon, for you to feel comfortable in your leadership and in your influence and your persuasion and your vision. When you have those things in pact, then it's okay. You don't have to monitor. Like, I'm able to go fly and go speak and go consult and do whatever I do at a super high level. And I don't have to be in the sending of emails. I don't have to be in the designing of graphics. I don't have to be in the headline, the articulation of the visualization. I don't have to disseminate that. I say it once and copywriters grab it and do it and get it done the right way. And this is the kind of freedom that you want if you ever want to get free in your business. And that's why some people on the employee side say it's so hard. It doesn't have to be. It can be done smooth. It can be easy. But you got to know what you're doing and you got to do it in the right sequencing. And that's what we teach on the brand challenge. And we'll be right back. This is your Breakfast with the Brand. I hope you're enjoying yourself. Put something in the chat if you got a takeaway. Let's grow. Business is like a game of chess. It's not checkers. If you don't know how to lead with a personal brand, then you're losing the battle.
Everything about Shaan's talk was fantastic. I mean, I got so much from it.
So he was really bringing fire and passion and just love and spirit to let everybody else know how do you become a leader amongst the leaders.
You hold the key in your hand. There is more power in this phone than there was that took the first man to the moon.
His energy, his dynamic information, gave a really great presentation.
I didn't ask for any money. I didn't have an offer. I had a heart to help people and meet them where they were at and find their need and fulfill it.
Shaan is the bomb.
I don't talk theory. I don't talk hyperbole. I don't talk opinion. Nothing I talk is anything but evidence-based.
During the G-Circle retreat in Atlanta, I had the pleasure and the honor of listening to Mr. Shaan Rais. He will not only impact your organization, but he will elevate your team to another level.
When you change you, when you put you into the equation, the whole system is different. I guarantee you, you got the right thing. You are the right person. If you can present yourself in the best way possible, there's no negotiation.
His energy is infectious, and I have so many takeaways from the presentation that I can't wait to get started and implement them today to see the result.
What you're looking at right now is the new face of leadership. I chose to go the route of SOE, standards of excellence. So I help people put zeros behind their numbers. I help people move up in or out of their organization and get paid their annual income monthly, their monthly income weekly, and their weekly income daily. I promise you, if you follow me at all, you're gonna wanna use something to write with. CSA first. CSA. Clarify, simplify, and amplify. Clarify, simplify, and amplify. It starts with the decision. Who do you wanna be and what do you wanna do? Who do you wanna be? You have to define that. If you don't know, then it's vague and it'll never be clear. The problem that we have is clarity. We walk into an organization happy to be there, happy that they accepted us, but we don't have a clear goal. That's why people stay in the same organization year after year after year, go to the same vacation spots with the same people and talk the same amount of nonsense around the same water cooler. So when I go into an organization and someone says they've been here for 20 years and they're still around $60,000, $70,000, $80,000, I'm like, ooh, it's chilly. It's a little bit cold when I know that all it takes for you to raise your prices, whether it's inside or outside of an organization, is self-belief and dedication. Brand you and not what you do. So when I meet people, I ask people, tell me a little bit about yourself, and they immediately tell me what they do. That's not who you are. Branding is who you are. Marketing is how people find out about you. So when you say, I'm a photographer, you just lumped yourself in with a million other photographers. What's special about you? Why should I work with you? I don't need a hand with a camera. I need a man with a story, a woman with a goal, a vision, someone with an idea of what they want to be and who they want to impact in their lives. That's what moves me. We know where we belong, whether we're in that seat or not. We heard the word legacy and we were pulled to come. I flew in last minute. Let's go. Leadership, legacy, love. Whew, I gotta be there. So what happens in marketing is when you say, I am you put yourself in what we call a red sea. You're now fighting against a million competitors with a million different things. Clarify, who are you? What do you stand for? And then simplify it, don't make it 10 things. Bruce Lee said, I do not fear the man who has thrown 10,000 kicks. He says, I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. You can have the most mouth-watering steak that the world has ever seen, but if you try to position it or place it in a vegan neighborhood, you make no money. Who are you trying to market to? Sometimes we don't support each other. Sometimes you got to go outside of your community, outside of your neighborhood, outside of your phone book to find someone who will support you. So if your business is hurting, think about the place that you're trying to move, whatever it is that you're moving, and the people that you're trying to sell to. You want to become the OVO. The OVO is the only viable option in your vertical. The only viable option in your vertical. We're not here for competition. We're here for domination. We're here for domination, period. And if you feel differently, you're probably in the wrong room. Is anybody ready for the fifth one? Are you ready for the fifth one? Might want to capture this. Might want to capture this. For God's sakes, man, your prices. Your prices. We should stand out because of price. Some people look for the lowest price. You're making a big mistake because you're defining yourself. Your success comes from mindset and perception. If you're competing over the lowest price, there's a problem. Be the face of change that you want to see. Stop asking questions and start giving demands. Train people. I'm going to leave you with this. We train people how to treat us when we meet us based on how we treat ourselves. Brand you and not what you do. Thank you. I love speaking, guys, if you can't tell.
You know, I wrote some things down here that I just think it's going to be super powerful for the audience this morning. So what I wrote down was partly my experience, one from the brand challenge, and then two from my journey with Shaan Rais and just the entire experience. So here's what I wrote down for you all. Doing what you're born to do leads to unstoppable revenue and confidence through the roof. And there's another contingency to this, but the reason I wrote this down this way is because I was on the base yesterday. And I was walking around a lot of officers. And when I was in the military, I was required to salute them. And I was not able to cut my salute until they cut theirs. Meaning when I saluted them first, I couldn't put my hand down until they put their hand down. That's what we call a rendering a salute. I had to say sir to them or ma'am to them because they were officers. But to my fellow enlisted, I didn't have to say that no matter what their rank was. I just had to address them. So it's an interesting dynamic when you're brought into a system that requires subservience. And what I think is very interesting about branding you, not what you do, doing what you were born to do, and the unstoppable revenue and the confidence. I walked into there yesterday, and because I know the pay chart and I know how much individuals earn, man, now this is not to sound any type of egotistical, but it was a experience, to say the least, to listen to them talk and to know how much they're earning and to know what we're doing over here, know what I'm doing. And I'm not saying that to say that they're not great. I'm saying that to say the glow up, as they say, the grow up is real. To go back to where you're from, to where you had to render salutes, to where you had to say yes ma'am, no ma'am, and know that nothing against them. Their rank is phenomenal and we need them. They protect the country. They help to afford the freedoms that we enjoy. But when it's your time to level up and grow up and scale out, it was nice to go back and know that I did that. And I'll leave you guys with this piece. Do you know who you are without supervision? Because we have parents that supervise us. Then we've got teachers that supervise us. And then we have bosses that supervise us. And everybody is telling us who we're supposed to be. Parents, you need to be like this, do like this, be like me. Teachers, put your hand down if you don't have X, Y, Z. Hey, you're the caboose, back of the line, front of the line. You're that leader. They tell you where you are, who you are. And your boss says, I need it on this time. No, you can't go here. You better be back at this time. And if you're not, you won't have a job. So we have all of these constraints around us telling us who we should be, how we should show up. And if we don't stand by, these are the consequences. And that greatly affects our self-image. So when I did not have those restrictions, when I could come and go as I please, when I could do what I want, so to speak, when I want, how I want, and I can put the price tag on my value and add a zero as I feel, the version of me and the vision of me evolved. And that's what you have on the other side of the brand challenge. So please do not take it lightly because it's a transformative experience.
I don't think I have much to say to follow that up, Bobby. Nothing at all. Everybody who watches this, like, just play that last 4 minutes back, or play what I said when I spoke at the event, and then listen to what Bobby says. Do that 2 or 3 times until this really registers, and then ask yourself, am I playing the full game? And if not, I think you know what to do next. Let's grow.